Hello.
Hello, everybody,
Morning.
and welcome. We are super excited. This is Restream team, and we are doing live Q&A. Ask us anything about building your audience today. I'm Anya with product marketing, and today with me is Charles
Hello,
with
good
video
morning.
production. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very good. So Charles is based in San Francisco. I'm based in Austin, Texas, and I want to know in the comments today, where are you guys watching from? I see people already checking in chat, so that's super exciting. We are doing a few experiments today with building audience for this very stream as we're talking about this with you. So we'll definitely need your help today. One of the things that we try to understand is the activity of chat and how this is going to help us to be seen by more people across different platforms that we're live on today. So if you ever held back and thought about posting something as a comment, today is the day to actually do it. So we definitely ask you to share your questions, because this is Ask Me Anything as well. So the content is going to be primarily driven by your questions and what do you want to know about how to build your audience. But also as many comments as we can today, please, everybody. And we will start with where are you from? So let us know country, city, state, wherever you're watching from. Super exciting. But like I said, I'm in Austin, Texas, and Charles, you are in San Francisco, despite the deceiving accent that makes people think that you're not from San Francisco.
True. That's true. Yes. No, I moved here over a decade ago, and I love it here in San Francisco. It actually feels kind of European to me, and
It does.
It's so beautiful here. I love it so much.
It's awesome. Yeah, I love San Francisco. I can't wait to visit.
You don't sound like you might be an Austin, Texas.
I know
native.
we are so deceiving and tricky.
Now I believe last time someone was like, "Where's that accent from? Are you Portuguese or something?" And you were like, "I'll tell you at the end."
I'll tell you the end. So if you want to know, again, ask in the chat. We will definitely try our best to answer all the questions today. One quick housekeeping. Yeah, we have so many answers already. We are going to highlight them in just a second. But just a quick housekeeping. If you are watching us on YouTube today, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. If you're not subscribed yet, we're growing it very actively, and we want to grow it organically and naturally. Instead of buying a bunch of subscribers, we actually ask you, the people who watch us and who hang out with us every Wednesday, to give us that sub. And if you like the video, also like and share. That helps us a lot. Comments, any kind of activity and engagement is super helpful. If you're watching somewhere else, because today we're live as well as on YouTube, on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Instagram, TikTok, and I believe that's it. There are a few paired channels. If you're watching us somewhere else, please follow, and that also helps us out. But YouTube, most importantly. All right, let's look at that chat. There's so many awesome answers about where you guys are watching from. So today our head of product is watching from Tallinn. Normally he is in Portugal, but today he is traveling. There's hello from Oregon. This is Grant. He's our moderator in chat, so he'll be helping you out with any technical questions that we might not be able to take, because we really, really want to focus on audience building and growing your viewership today as the main topic. But if you have any technical questions or Restream specific question, Grant has you covered.
He's a real expert. He understands all of the production. He understands all of the studio. Like if you reach out to support, Grant will be one of the people that you can talk to, and he really knows his stuff.
And he's also our junior editor, so he actually uses, not only he uses live streaming tools and supports you guys as a live streaming expert and technical support person. He is also an editor himself who edits content for marketing.
And he's a YouTuber. He's a his own channel. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay,
man's busy.
Hit him up. He's a real deal. Absolutely. Alex is saying, fire to this countdown. Remember how much time we spent going back and forth? Is this too pixelated? Is it too much? There was like a more pixelated version, but we went with this one.
Pixelated one. I thought it was more graphical, and it also I made it had these little circles in the center.
It looked like Tetris. Like OG Tetris. I love that.
Like it's not meant to be you and I. It was meant to be like a graphic representation. If you squinted, you could see that it was us.
I did squint, and I love that effect. So next time we're just going for it. So buckle up, it's going to get more and more pixelated if you're really into our countdowns. That's what's going to happen.
Something visually interesting. It's a hook. It's something like, what is that? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Scroll stopper. Hello from sunny Michigan. I'm so happy it's sunny in Michigan. And then there's hello from not sunny Italy, which should be actually pretty sunny. Hi there. Really good to see you. Becca is checking in from North Carolina. And there's Cleveland, Ohio. Hello from Lisbon. That's Colin, also our technical support person, and also one of the really cool people who knows his stuff.
Yes.
Cotton says hello. I think is that Matt? I think that's Matt. Matt, if that's you, let us know.
Oh, yeah, you know all of our fans personally. It's lovely, like our fish fan.
I know. It's so awesome. There's
Danger
another
Zone
hello
here.
from Danger Zone is here. Hello from Talon, from Metro, Anya, and Sir Charles from Danger Zone. Yes, this is so good to hear. Danger Zone, we're talking about audience growth today.
Danger Zone, can I ask a question? Do you know my name as Sir Charles from somewhere else? Because you're not the only person to call me that. Now, as an Englishman in the US, it feels a bit strange to be given an honorary knighthood, because a knighthood's quite a big deal, right? And I'll take it. But it's not the only person to call me Sir Charles, and I'm just curious as to whether you know me from somewhere else.
How did you know that? That's awesome. That's a good question. So Shirley's checking in. I'm subscribed and notifications are always on. You are literally the best. We love you. Thank you so much. I'm going to send you some hearts if the whole thing works.
Oh, I don't know if I've got the thing on. I'm always managing to turn off reactions. Look at that. It doesn't like me.
You move too much. You move too much.
You're not the first to say that.
You have to really freeze, and then
reactions on.
Yeah, but you're just like it's not going to catch you if you do this. Yeah, here we go.
You don't actually have to be that accurate. You just got to be
still. You need to make sure that it sees very well. You have contrast. If you do it on very strange surface, it's not going to capture it, and then no movement.
I was having a conversation recently, and I did something, and I got a thumbs up at a really inappropriate
at a
time.
very bad moment. We've all been there. Yeah, that's awesome.
Sorry.
Oh my God. I was going to say that Matt is checking in from Prague, and he says, hello, hey. Good to see you, man. Always awesome. Great comments. I mean, oh my God, you guys are totally doing this. We'll see what happens. I'm so excited. Greetings from Fish Family. And okay, so this is the preview question that Grant is taking care of, and he's in awe because we gave him a shout out. Alex is testing comments on X. Thank you, Alex. We are doing something different today. We are going to actually give a little booster to our X stream, but we're going to do it a little later. That's why we want to make sure that the chat is very active. So it gives signals to the platforms that the stream is engaging. People are actually checking in and engaging with it. And then we hope to see that additional boosting after that is going to really set us into the stratosphere.
This is something here. Shirley Wig's shop. Shirley's wig shop. Sorry. Yeah. So those hearts are coming from our computers. That's the reactions on the Macintosh. It's on the Mac, on the Apple Macintosh.
Yeah, Macintosh.
Yeah.
Sir Charles.
Yes.
Oh Sir my God.
But so it's not built into our platform. You can do that on any Mac. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
I just wanted to call that out, just because we don't have reactions in the studio. Maybe we should.
Yeah, totally.
Always head over to our suggestions page.
Rock and Roll Capital, Cleveland, Ohio. And Phil is saying, no, I don't. Sorry. Maybe it means that he doesn't know you from anywhere else. Only
it was
from
Danger Zone, actually.
Here.
Danger Zone.
Oh, yeah, Danger Zone. That's right. Hi, Charles. We joked about Prince Charles. That's right. A while back, and all landed on Sir being better. That's true. Yeah. Prince. Oh my God. Good stuff.
In a previous life, I was known as Sir Charles by a certain man I worked for. Anyway.
Oh no.
It's a compliment.
It's a compliment. It's good stuff. So we are going to have a look at a few little news and industry conversations that are happening right now, just to warm you guys up. In the meantime, we do encourage you to share how many followers you currently have, because today we're talking about audience growth, and we will share a few hacks and a few things that we believe are very helpful for content creators. But you, of course, are welcome to share your own thoughts. Of course, you can comment on the things that we're discussing about news and little industry things. But most importantly, your questions about how to grow your audience. We will be giving you at least 3, maybe 4 kind of proven hacks. In the past couple of weeks, I was really diving into algorithms, because that's also part of my job. My job is not only to host this awesome streams, even though it's my favorite part, but I also do constantly look at how to better market our content, how to better market our product. And the research of algo was my primarily function this week. And I've learned a few things that I definitely want to share with you. But first, a few little news and your questions about how to make your channel grow, how to get more views, how to reach more people are what we are going to be answering primarily. So we are going to start with reference to previous stream. A few weeks ago, we did a stream with Alex Kay, and who is our CEO, and we talked about some also industry news related to how every company right now in the world is kind of transitioning to become a media company. And this is a little clip from there to just kind of get you started. And I promise it will all make sense in just a minute. Every big tech company is becoming a media company, and some are already there, some need to acquire.
I would even frame it different. I think that every company become a media company.
Yeah.
Even a coffee shop becomes a media company.
Yeah.
Because you have, like most of them have present on social. Some of them could even live stream the process from the coffee shops, the vibe, what is going on there.
Yeah.
Some of them just post some kind of special offers or just a cool pictures of craftsmanship, how they craft this coffee. It just becomes normal, right? So, and every company is media.
So on that bright note,
how does it feel watching yourself back?
It's weird.
I have to do it all the time.
Sorry, I have to say no, it's so weird. I was like totally mesmerized by it. I was just like, oh my God, like it's like double me. It's so meta. But yes, so literally weeks after we had this conversation. So that conversation, that clip is around the acquisition of TPPN podcast by OpenAI. It was big tech news that one of the largest and most popular probably tech companies in the world right now purchased a podcast, basically a media asset, to create this media arm for their narrative and for their messaging. And they picked one of the best people in Silicon Valley who do talk about tech news. And that became that acquisition is kind of what we were talking about in that clip, how tech companies are now basically creating their own TV channels or their own television. And sure enough, just a few weeks after that, Ramp announced that they're hiring head of content to build a media brand. So Ramp, for those who don't know, it's a fintech company. We are actually using them at Restream. And as far as I know, they also use Restream for some of their live demos and live content, which is awesome. So Ramp primarily focused on solving the problem of financials, right? Basically empowering businesses with cards and making sure that like all the invoices and payables and employee expenses are trackable and very simple, right? But now they are also getting into the world of media and the world of video. And this, I think, is just yet another great illustration that the world is shifting towards, if you want to be present, you absolutely have to be live, right? Like you have to have a robust media program, and just posting something on social media occasionally, having a blog and having like polished ads and video content is not enough. You have to have a live show to build the community and to build love and loyalty around your product. So yeah, it was really exciting to see. So what do you think, Charles?
I think this is really interesting. You know how, in the early 2000s, people suddenly started to realize that that you couldn't just have an intern doing their social media presence. They needed a team. And that team is helping to generate interest in the company, but also fight fires and shape a narrative. And often those teams were pretty rogue compared to the values and the stance that a company might take. And so they had to sort of rein that in and make sure that all their messaging was on brand. And I think that what Ramp is doing is they are recognizing that loyalty comes through community, and that putting out an ad or a blog post has a sort of shelf life, particularly adverts. The moment you stop paying, they're done. But a community will keep giving back as long as you are giving to them. And I think this is just part of that building of community around your brand, around your marketing. And I think that it's rewarding for that community too, because it develops a conversation between you as a brand or you as a marketer and your audience, and there's a trust relationship, and then there are the advantages in that you can get people to learn more about your products and your new services, and you can also then help with education, which makes people more satisfied with the product. So I think it's a really, really smart move, not just for PR and marketing, but just general customer satisfaction. I think that it's really important that customers are delighted with your product, and a way to make them delighted is to deliver what it is they want and need, and to be able to communicate that to them. So I think that's really important. And it's interesting that I read that they actually hired someone who's going to be on camera too, which is a really interesting move. Because if you look at what you and I are doing right now, it wasn't explicitly said that we were going to be on camera. It's just sort of what's happened. It's what we have intuitively understood is needed.
Yeah,
So
no,
that's what I
absolutely.
thought. It's sort of building a moat, I think, around their marketing, really, and to plant a flag and create some sort of ownership around their brand as well.
No, it's super exciting, and I agree with you that basically it's interesting to see like how there are like two ways to do it, right? Like one is to acquire an existing podcast, which is super inspiring for a lot of creators who are building their audience and their content in specific industry right now, because literally TBPN proved that anybody can become an official TV channel of OpenAI, right? Not anybody. You have to be very talented. You have to work really hard, which is what they did for the past year, going live every single day for 3 hours a day, which is crazy hard work. We're doing this once a week for 2 hours, and that is already feels like this is dominating the first half of our week. So what they were doing is incredible effort, especially for the small team, and it's very talented, and the way they do it is just incredible. But still, it's a small team of 10 people who managed to do this. And that is very inspiring for all of us watching. And option two is to actually build it in-house, right? Which is the ramp path. So they are trying to hire people, they're trying to bring in talent, and they're trying to build it from ground up versus acquiring an existing channel or an existing podcast that already talks about finances. So that's an interesting kind of like dual way of going there. I want to make sure we acknowledge a few comments here. Let me transition us to here. So folks are answering the question of how many followers you guys have. RW Magic one says 25,000. That's a lot. That's really cool. I love that. There is also Soccer Tonight. It's 1,000. Right? 155,000 soccer fans on Facebook. That is huge community.
Wow.
I'm so happy. Like honestly, like the tips and the conversations that we're going to have are going to be really lending well for this kind of levels, because we don't have a lot of tips for people who have 1 billion followers, right? Like Mr. Beast probably has more tips for them than us, and it's kind of like if you're only like looking at just a couple of viewers, you're just starting, this conversation is also probably more for like people who have been doing this for a little while. So these are amazing exact ranges that we were hoping to see. So I'm so happy you guys shared.
Can I ask you a question? So there are two different metrics really, followers and views. Which do you think is the most important? What do you think?
For me, so I think that the views is probably more important metric. Followers are a little bit more static, right? Like you can follow somebody and like actually never engage with their content. But if you have views, especially for your live show, those are people who actually took the time to watch your content. So those are hot leads, right? Like those are the people who are more interested. Those are your real loyal community members, your fans, people who care. To me, that is a more important metric. However, those two things are connected, because in order to achieve views, you have to build the following. Because if you have 0 followers, even if you have the most amazing content, literally, I think if Justin Bieber would start his show on the channel with 0 views, it's going to take a while for anyone to recognize it and actually check in. So being there and like having that community, having those notifications and having that kind of like expectation of your content is pretty critical. So viewers are more important, but followers usually come first. What do you think?
Used to be, well, I don't know. That's why I think that you are definitely more of an expert in that area. It did used to be that people said that if you had followers that weren't engaging with your content, it was harmful to your YouTube channel. And I just wonder whether that was still true. I honestly don't know. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. And see, Shirley agrees with you. She says, just call me Shirley. I love this lives. I learned so much, and it has helped me grow my social media a lot. I would love to hear a bit more about this. Shirley, if you can share exactly where you went, where you started, and where you got, and what were maybe like the top 2 things that you learned from this live show that really helped you achieve that growth, in that either some kind of trackable way or just because that's intuitively how it feels. I would love to hear that and see that in the comments. So if you don't mind typing that up, it might be a whole novel. It might be just a little overview, kind of like a high level, like what really helped with viewership, was growth, was the quality of leads. And what exactly did we say at this show that helped? Also, it's music to my ears, so it's going to make me feel so good. and this guy too. So please share away if you can. Danger Zone.
I love this. I love this day of the week. Like I love Wednesdays.
I know, it's my favorite.
One of my favorite days of the week. I love
it's my favorite. It's my favorite day.
Hang out with someone that I love and adore. So you know what I can say. I like it.
Which is our viewers. Our viewers.
Yeah, and you. Yeah.
Okay, it's time for more hearts. Because obviously that was so cute. Danger Zone, long form sports streamer, 663. I love how people just like, because I'll be like, we have about 80,000. But people that are just building their community, they know exactly. It's 663, not 2, not 6. It's this. Subs going forward 1,000 by not flooding the algorithm. Just a show or 2 a week and a few shorts. That's awesome. We have a lot of tips for you, Danger Zone, because, and also a little hope, I guess, once you do reach that 1,000 from some rumors / information that like I was able to dig around, once you do pass that threshold of 1,000, YouTube actually does start treating your channel better because it kind of starts believing that you already had this like proof of traction, and you should see like quite a bit of growth after you reach that 1,000. So that's not something, I'm not from YouTube, so of course they're not sharing all their secret sauces, but that's what I was able to dig out as I was looking around some insights and hacks. So 1,000 is a really, really good goal. So you should definitely try your best to reach there. And one of the ways to do it is to actually ask people to sub. Like this is what we started to do just a few months ago. And we're just proactively popping up that overlay and we're saying, hey, it really helps us. And we've been seeing this growth because people do what you ask them to do if they care about your show and if they care about your content, right? So you're so close. I would definitely encourage you to ask people to sub. And then once you pass that 1,000, it should help you. Don't yet quote me on that, but keep an eye on that. And if there is any insight or any proof that you can share after that, I would love to have you as a guest speaker.
A few shorts sounds like not enough shorts in my opinion.
Few shorts is not enough shorts, and we will definitely cover that later. Watch hours is the most important metric for Danger Zones. Sports podcasts with long forms, this probably goes for hours, so watch hours are important. I agree. YouTube actually pays a lot of attention to that. You actually have to achieve certain number of watch hours to even unlock certain things like shorts, like monetization and stuff like that. So yeah, good stuff. And of course, Fish Fam right here reminds everybody to hit that like and subscribe. Perfect timing.
Now, you and I were talking about the like and subscribe thing with a very, very successful shorts producer. Yeah. And her advice was to work the word subscribe or subscriber into your scripts. You don't necessarily even have to explicitly say like and subscribe. You can say, subscribers that like this content go on to, and you've literally just triggered that into someone's mind. And there's a good chance they will go, oh, yeah, I need to. And I find myself when I'm watching a YouTube video, I get to the end and I think, oh, I need to like that video. But they've only reminded me right at the end, and then it auto plays the next video, and I've missed that opportunity. If I'm on the TV, I have to navigate to the like button, and I always try and like the videos of the people that I like. So get it in early, get it in with enough time for people to actually be able to react to it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Great stuff. I love how active our chat is. I don't know what happened and how we did this, but this is amazing. And I love that it's so multi-channel, even though like I see a lot of Facebook comments, I see a lot of X comments. This is beautiful. Yep. So you guys are totally making the show the best. So we're going to continue taking questions for as long as you have that drive. And we won't even go into some other things that we wanted to discuss and like to show you like from the industry news, because this is so much more interesting because that's about you, right? Like those are your news and your questions. So WTF Mike, love the name. I use that phrase all the time. So yeah, this is basically my mantra, especially with my 4-year-old. Biggest complaint I hear from my Restream guests is that chat on their side rolls backwards and from the standard or the host. Can we change that? Yes.
The scroll direction.
There's a setting.
Guess, yeah.
The scroll direction is changeable. Yes. So, so it's changeable on screen, right? Like I'm pretty sure we actually need to double check that if in preview from the guest perspective. Okay, yeah, that's something that we need to definitely screenshot.
Do you know? You may have seen a little bit earlier on. My face may have gone blank. I actually took a scrapshot of that comment so that I could.
Oh, okay, you already did this. Perfect. Yeah. That's awesome. Yes, because we do have that function on our chat overlay. That little guide that we showed you earlier. Let me do it for just 1 second, real quick.
This shows
so
the power.
On this one.
This shows the power of being a company and having this live connection with our audience, is that we're getting this live feedback. You may not have felt inspired to even reach out about that. It would just be an annoyance. Now it's just a quick comment, and we as a company can react to that and give you more delight. So it's so powerful.
It's also super powerful because that comment, that screenshot that Charles just took is going directly into our Slack channel for our product team.
Right.
And people will actually be looking at that as soon as today. As soon as we finish this stream, we will be definitely sharing. That's kind of our workflow, right, Charles? Like through the process. Once we're done with the stream, we do a little bit of postmortem. We talk about like what was great, what we should have done better, because of course we are not perfect and we're always looking for ways to improve. But one of the most important things that we always share in the end of the stream, and our co-producers help us with that, is the feedback, the themes, and the things that we have been seeing happening. So that's
dog fooding. Yeah. We're dog fooding. It's a very simple, business exercise to use your own product, and that's what we're doing right now. So this is doubly valuable for us because we're literally using the studio, and then we can feed back, as you say, to our dev team and to the product managers and say, these are the problems that we saw with our own eyes, and these are the problems that people have also let us know about, and here's the praise also, like this is what we got right. And I have to say, in the couple of years I've worked here, the product has got so much sharper, so much better. So that's awesome.
Fun. So I also see that our live clips are being posted. So one of the topics of how to increase your viewership and grow your audience is, as we all know, is to create short form content and clips. And we are actually clipping this show as we speak. So there's going to be some clips popping up right now. I saw that we already released a batch. So if you want to see how Restream Live clipping works, basically short highlights of the show that is still happening, and that links back to that show. You can see it on both our YouTube, X, and on our LinkedIn. We're posting those shorts right now. This is a great way to give like little bite-sized, little teaser of what you're talking about, and then inevitably drive people back into the long form. Absolutely epic for sports, media, news, and product launches. Because when there is content that's kind of like timely, content that when you can highlight something super exciting and then kind of bring people in as top of the funnel into the whole conversation, that is the way to go. So check them out. Obviously, we cannot see them because we're here talking to you and looking at the chat.
They can, but don't.
But you guys can. And
you're already here. Job done.
Yeah, we're receiving the notifications that like live clips are happening, and I know our team is posting them as we speak. So check them out. That's good. That's good stuff. That's good.
This
content.
Might be useful for Danger Zone to pull people into his long form.
Absolutely.
Sports broadcasts.
Absolutely. I love Fish Fam, help our community grow. And there's Soccer Tonight. Views are the most important metric for them as well. We need engagement, and this is leading to my question. When I go live on Restream, I get a good amount of viewers. But when I go live just on the app, Facebook, the phone, my numbers are bigger. Do you know why? It's interesting. So basically from the platform perspective, like there is no difference for them how you go live, whether it's a third-party application or it is a native app. A lot of platforms actually don't even have a way to go live. LinkedIn, for example, does not have its own studio. From the platform perspective, who sends the video is not going to affect the algorithm. The big proof of that is that most of the gaming streamers, for example, are using tools like OBS because the native YouTube or Twitch studio just simply cannot handle capturing game and capturing multiple cameras and basically the whole setup, right? So they have to use third-party application. And if algorithms and platforms punish that, then no gamer would ever grow, right, on any kind of platform because they all use some kind of a third-party application like Restream or OBS. So what might be happening is that there's something else that is different between your streams when you go live on Restream versus when you go live on the phone. I would try to look at the content and compare, what are the possible other things that are different. Is the content more engaging? Is it because you are live and you're walking with your phone, it looks more kind of authentic and more UGC, versus something more studio might look just different and people engage less?
Yeah.
But sorry. Potentially. Also, what's your orientation? Are you doing the vertical on phone and horizontal on your Restream streams? Because that is going to determine big time where this is going to get served, what kind of new fans will be able to find you. And of course, if you are using Restream, you should absolutely do dual output and then compare compare those two things. And a few other things like timing, right? Like, are you going live at the same time? Are you going live at the same day? So, Saturday night stream and Monday morning stream might have very different engagement depending on what kind of content. And of course, yours is sports fans. So probably, weekend audience is going to be much more engaged than a Monday morning when people are all working and also pissed that the weekend is over. So that's kind of the other variables that I would look into. But from the platform perspective, there should not be a way for them to really like even tell. A lot of times it just tells them that it's coming from another application, but that's so many different applications. Any professional software will appear the same way. So there's no way for them to be like, oh, this is restream. That's why we are going to kind of like not let it thrive. That's not a thing. So as we know through API. Yeah, look for the variables.
Which could be emotional. It could be you and your performance. It could be, as you say, vertical versus horizontal. Maybe bitrate. Like, perhaps the bitrate's different, and the platform is seeing that and saying, oh, this is preferred in some way. Is that possible?
Yeah, definitely. Just try to create a checklist and write down what are the differences, and then just test those differences. Right. And by the process of elimination, you might be able to find what was actually driving it. Also, one time difference can just be just a wild outlier that no one can explain. We did have our streams when we would have thousands and thousands of viewers, and that's kind of like our baseline. And then sometimes it would just have very, very low number, and so it could be related to just like pure luck, or some kind of situation that people are on vacation, like the seasonalities and things like that. So definitely make sure that you look at a couple of streams and then try to identify those differences, and then by elimination try to test. Great question from CS Andreas. If you have a channel that used to do really well and now it doesn't, and partly because of the algorithm, should you revive your channel or should you start a new one? That is a really great question. I wish we had like a one-fits-all answer, but it really... So first of all, I would like to ask you a follow-up question is what makes you think that the algorithm is a problem? Like why... how did you determine that the channel started to do worse and perform worse because of the algorithm? Algorithm is kind of like this black box of magic alchemist stuff that is kind of really hard to dissect. So unless you're seeing like very specific signals that you like really research and dug into, I would say it's common for us to blame algorithm. It's a very normal and natural reaction. If something worked before and now it stopped working, it's kind of like one of those things like, oh yeah, sure. Of course, they change algorithms. Also, it's very true that the algorithms change all the time, right? Like they change the rules, they change how things work. So it is very possible that is the reason, but I'm very curious to understand like how you determine that. And then I would say personally, depending, you didn't share how many followers you had, like what is the size of that channel? If we are looking at the channel that has hundreds and thousands of followers, I would not drop it. Honestly, I would try to figure out like what are the ways that you can revive it before I drop it, because it will take you a long time to build up that following. If you're talking about a channel that has like a couple hundred followers and you are convinced that the algorithm is a problem, that because something happened there, maybe there was some kind of a warning or ban or anything like that, then of course maybe dropping it makes sense. But it really depends on where is your baseline. I would say anything over 1,000, I would not drop. I would try to revive, and I would really try to look into some of the strategies that we'll be sharing today, how to gain those additional views and additional exposure through live video, through multiple different orientations, shorts, and pre-recorded content. So those are all coming.
You did actually speak about that 1,000 sub threshold that unlocks certain things. So it sounds like
absolutely. So let us know, or think about like what is the number of followers that you're willing to drop, and like definitely after 1,000, I would not do it. I would say my short answer is revive. So, and then there's a follow-up also here, like my shorts do well, but my long form content can't get over 300 views. But I have thousands of subscribers. So, okay, you have thousands. So it's discouraging. Yeah, you definitely should not drop that channel. You should definitely consider a few different techniques to revive it. Honestly, if you have the time and the ability to do that, you can actually create an additional channel and kind of like see what other things you can test there. But I would still continue creating content for the OG channel because the following that you build there is not going to be super easy and super fast to kind of transition. It's going to be quite a process.
I have actually seen some advice that says that on your channel, you need like a main video that your shorts can point to. If you're in sales, it could be that you need, if your shorts are doing quite well, you can use those as the driver towards your long form content. So by actually signposting it and driving towards it and using that as the funnel to get people towards your long form content. But it also, if people aren't engaging with your long form content, then maybe you need to look at that long form content and say, what is it that's not getting the retention? Where are people dropping off? Look at the your metrics and your analytics. Where are people dropping off? Where do they disengage? And what is it about the shorts that they are enjoying? Is it that you just get straight to the information? Is it that there's short snippets? Maybe your long form content needs to have more chapters and different subject matter and to move more quickly. Perhaps you need to do deeper dives. So I think that there are a lot of different things that you can look at before you take the extreme measure of just ditching it and moving on.
Absolutely. Sorry, just needed to.
Yeah, no, you jot some notes.
Sure. Yeah. Because this is really good stuff, and I definitely want to make sure that we make some notes here. Some of them are just screenshots, but some of them are just kind of like thoughts that I want to continue testing.
We have the analytics. We can go back and look at all of the chat and see which questions we didn't. This is another thing for building channel and to building community is to make sure that we answer questions. And if there are any that we miss, we can always go back to our channel analytics and ask our AI, "Hey, what did we miss? What was the theme?
What did we miss? Why did we miss it?" Yeah, but it's also just really good ideas to test for us. You are actually giving us some food for thought for me to research and look into. So thank you so much. This is really good stuff. Keep coming with your questions. Danger Zone. Any updates about custom emojis compatibility? I have a community and we have custom emojis, but they don't translate over. Just show as text. Yes, we don't have an update on that yet because I remember this was, you brought it up a few weeks ago during a Q&A session, probably with devs. We definitely should make a screenshot and do a quick follow-up with our product team. Product team, if you're watching and if you know the answer, jump in and let Danger Zone know when custom emojis are coming to our chat. That would be awesome.
So that's a case of being able to upload your own emoji into...
Yes. So in YouTube, you can have custom, in YouTube, you have custom emojis for your channel. And when you show them, they appear as white hands clapping with enthusiasm or something like that.
So would you need to bring that into the Restream Studio or just have that? Does the the YouTube API allow that to
I think this is about chat. Yeah, I think it's about chats, chat log overlay and chat comments. Yeah, feel free to clarify Danger Zone, but I think it is about how things are appearing in Studio because when we show things here, so there are no custom emojis there right now because we really don't have them on our YouTube channel, but if they were, they would not appear properly. And I think that's one of the issues. And those custom emojis just can break the comment. As far as I understand. But feel free to clarify and we will definitely follow up on this one. It's a good one. Cheryl shared her numbers. Facebook followers, 19,000, Instagram, 6,000, TikTok, 6,000, and YouTube, 2.8. That's actually a really good number. If you count them together, it's over 25,000. That's a really, really, really good start. And so...
I understand that those are individuals, those are humans, those are people, right? Well, I'm assuming they're humans, one hopes. But that's, if you were to stand in front of those people, and you had them in a room in front of you, that's
multiple
that's what you
stadiums,
have.
right? Isn't that a few stadiums of spectators? 19,000, that sounds huge. I don't know.
A stadium is probably 100,000, I would think. But it's certainly a very large venue full of people. That's a successful artist.
This is a very successful channel. And successful group of channels for your content. So this is so cool. Wig shop. I love that. All right, Don at Vanguard. Can you work on the vertical plugin and allow us to use a separate Canva to control our vertical stream? We do have a vertical plugin for OBS. It is completely free of charge. And in there, you can create your own vertical stream and you can control how you build it. Charles made a few videos about that. You can find them on our YouTube channel. So it basically shows you how you set it up. So the difference between vertical output in Studio is that our Studio vertical mode is designed by us for you. So we optimize your sources, your guests, and everything you show on your screen to appear perfect on your vertical channel. So you don't have to think about it. With plugin, since it is working with OBS, you do have a lot of options to create your own. I will show you how it looks in Studio, just so you have an idea. So this little image here shows you how when we have 3 people in Studio, in the Studio layout, you can see that the portrait mode actually staggered us really well. And if we change people a little bit, if we kind of like swap them around, the vertical version will also swap people around. So you can put Alex on top or put me on top if you just swap things on the horizontal. So you can switch them around
dynamically, and then you can make some choices above that. Yeah.
Yes. So why this is cool is because it helps you to not think about it, and you can just focus on your content and your audience and your questions. But if you do feel like it's super important for you to design the look of your canvas, then the plugin that we have for OBS, which is free, allows you to do that. So check it out. And there's a video about that on our YouTube. All right. So Grant shared a few links. That is awesome. So I think there's a quick follow-up here. Also from Donut, where when I stream and use the vertical plugin in YouTube, it creates another stream, and the thumbnail is my YouTube banner, and that annoys me. Oh, okay. So that's a different conversation. So yes, if you are streaming live on from Restream with vertical and horizontal, whether you're using plugin or Studio, it will create a separate stream. This is currently an API challenge that YouTube is working to resolve, but right now it is going to be 2 separate streams. It's not going to be one stream that will like dynamically change depending on which kind of screen or which kind of device the viewer is watching from. So this is kind of one of the things that's not possible to change until YouTube changes its API. The moment they do, we will immediately bring it to you, because we also believe that making it one stream, just kind of like dynamically changing the orientation based on who is watching and how they do it would be preferred. But right now it is going to be 2 different things. For the thumbnail, when
you turn, it would be nice to be able to be watching on your phone. You turn it one way or the other, and then it would change to streams. One of the things that I do when we're doing this, and I'm behind the scenes, is I actually add a little television icon to the horizontal stream, and I add a little cell phone icon to the vertical stream, because you can't tell by the thumbnails, which is what I think you're about to get into, which is I find deeply annoying.
Yes. So the thumbnails, though, let me show you real quick. Like I just made a screenshot of how this looks on our own YouTube channel, right? Like, so I went on the YouTube channel, and those are, one is our vertical and one is our horizontal stream. Both of them appear as horizontal, but if you hover over them, one, you will see that the feed is actually vertical and the other is horizontal. So if you are seeing your banner instead of your designed thumbnail, that's something that's happening with the settings, and I would recommend to reach out to our support, because that's not how it's designed. It shouldn't do that. It should show you 2 thumbnails. It should not show you any banners. So it could be a bug. It could be something that you just need to look at the settings and like change and tweak a few things. Our support can look into your account in particular and help you out with that. So it should not show you anything else but your banner. But yes, the title will be the same. And what Charles and I have been doing in the past, we would just log in to video management and add a little vertical versus TV icon. We should be able to do it programmatically. I will bring this up to our product team as soon as we finish this one. So because that's actually we should be able to do that, because it is challenging. And since we control the title, we should be able to help you set it up slightly differently for vertical and horizontal. Whether you want a little emoji or you want to say vertical, horizontal, or mobile, we should give you that option. I agree with this completely. Good tip, says Danger Zone. That is awesome. Another follow-up from Danger Zone, also Soccer Tonight. When you link your Facebook, it asks whether you want to stream to your profile or group. Maybe that is set wrong. So if you're linking to your Facebook group, it's going to be pretty difficult to go live on Facebook groups, because Facebook recently, a few years ago, they changed the rules, and you cannot really seamlessly stream into groups. It basically becomes a customer team piece. So it's a one-way street. The comments are not coming through, and the experience becomes kind of like less engaging. This is why we do have a Restream community on Facebook. We don't really stream there because it's just so cumbersome to do it. We stick with our page when we go live on Facebook, and of course profiles will work just as well. But yes, that is an interesting thing to check. Love it. Vertical on the phone, Android, and Restream is horizontal, 16:9. Thank you for the knowledge. Okay, so 16:9 is horizontal. So basically you are doing like 2 very different streams and you're hitting very different feeds if you are going live from Restream in landscape and on your phone in portrait. So you cannot compare those things because you're seeing, you are comparing 2 different algorithms, 2 different audiences and 2 different groups of people, 2 different categories of viewers, 2 different groups of devices. So those are very different things. What you should do to compare is to go live on Restream in dual output, or actually choose to go in portrait from Restream on Facebook, because I don't believe that Facebook actually supports dual right now, but like try portrait from Restream and then compare that with phone. But yeah, and definitely lots of shorts.
How about you just stream Reels. Both, and then stream in vertical and in portrait, and then you're grabbing both of those audiences, because as you say, these are 2 different audiences, and the algorithms work differently for
right. I'm just not entirely sure. I'm gonna look at Facebook right now. I don't believe we have like a dual, so I don't think you can do what you do on YouTube and on certain platforms. You can actually, I think YouTube is actually the only one where you can do 2 at the same time, so the same stream, but it gets both. Because YouTube is pushing that content hard and they are very interested in providing this opportunity. On Facebook, I believe you have to basically choose which orientation you're going to go with. You can't do dual output, but then your vertical version will have to just pick different channels. And if you look at our channels right now, you see like Facebook, if you look at our portrait selection set, we only have YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram there. We do not have Facebook there.
Of course.
That's because Facebook does not have that option, but you still can test it. I mean, there's also an option to try to do, if you have multiple workspaces, if you have an option to get like a few accounts, you can do a concurrent stream. You will probably need a co-producer there, so someone else will need to be watching the other. It's kind of like a separate Restream account, but you can try it that way. So basically run 2 parallel streams, which are the same content, but 2 different Restream instances when you stream one in vertical and one in horizontal. That could be a workaround for you to just test as well. Good stuff. We do have a few comments from Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, and I would like to highlight a few of them. I will need to make them as captions because, as we all know.
Well, while you do that, can I just say I've just been mulling over the I'm struggling to hold people, because it's really sticky with me that I'm struggling to hold people on my live stream. And I think what you mustn't necessarily think that the live stream's not doing much. Actually, what you're doing is you're creating content. You're actually creating content for that funnel that every time you go live, you are practicing, you're exercising, you're stretching a muscle, you are learning more about your audience, you're learning more about what it is you want to do, and you are showing up. And that is one of the most important things. Now, I know that a lot of gamers talk about how the grind is sort of over, but I actually don't necessarily agree with that. I think that the grind is not necessarily just about trying to grind out every single day to get an audience. You're actually creating a flywheel of content. You're going to be creating the content for those shorts that are doing very well. So it could be that the shorts might well be where you need to focus, but in order to create those shorts, keep your live stream going, keep that content being produced, and learn more about your audience, listen to the feedback and talk to them about it. And that will also be, as we said, we touched on this, that is also something that's going to help you bring people into your live stream, and also experiment with content. It could be that you're doing well on shorts because of the type of content that works. Maybe your live streams need to be a slightly different format, so experiment with that format. But I think don't be disparaging. Like, you are creating content and you're creating a flywheel for the next show, so keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. Super inspiring stuff. All right, I did type up that comment from Instagram in our caption. So the question is, I need dual setup for Instagram and YouTube. Edward. So if you want to stream on Instagram and YouTube, you can use Restream dual output and basically select Instagram as your vertical channel and YouTube as your both horizontal and vertical channel. That is the setup that I would recommend. In that case, on YouTube, you're grabbing all the audiences you can possibly have, and you have a perfect vertical portrait mode stream for Instagram, which is what you're watching right now with us. So it's optimized for mobile and it is optimized for Instagram algorithms. So that's how I would approach it. If those are your 2 major channels, and that's actually a very, very good pair of channels, a good like little coupling. YouTube and Instagram are really, really great. And then dual output really covers everything for them because YouTube gives you both and Instagram gives you vertical, which is what they prefer. Great stuff. A few more comments here. Shirley says, I never blame the algorithm. I just assume it's something either I'm not doing or something my competition is doing. It's a really, really good attitude. I really love it. Sometimes algorithm is worth researching and looking into, though, because there are certain things that you just have to understand and make sure you follow. There's sometimes a very small tweaks, sometimes like bigger movements, but the algorithm does determine where and how often and to who your content is going to be shown. And it's impossible to completely ignore. So I would definitely recommend constantly looking into it for your industry. Great idea to see what your competitors are doing. Great idea what your aspirational channels, like the people that you're looking up to and their content is doing. And try to see which parts of their playbook are applicable to you. And then some of that is going to be very algorithmic. Some of that is going to be personality. Some of that is going to be quality of your content. But some of that is going to be algorithmic. And we will break down a few of those things after we take as many questions as we can, because this is Ask Me Anything live Q&A with us. And if you're enjoying this content, real quick, please don't forget to subscribe, because it helps our algorithm a lot. And it helps more people like you to discover us. So little plug. Okay, next question is going to be from Danger Zone again. Probably won't show up unless they fix the YouTube branded emoji. So Danger Zone is going to show us how exactly the branded emojis are going to look on the screen. And that is the demonstration. You made your point very clear.
Face, future, tongue out.
I feel your pain. I do want to find that emoji, the face future. Yeah. Tongue out. Is it fuchsia? Is it a color? It's
Fuchsia.
Like a purple. Yeah, purple color, tongue out. Hang pink waving. Pink hang waving. Good job. No, I love it. Yeah, you made your point. It's very clear. We were just like, oh, maybe you can clarify what you mean by that. Love it. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
I mean, that is disappointing, isn't it? You don't want all of that nonsense text.
No, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to remove it.
Emoji, because it's conveying an emotion, and a picture does speak 1,000 words. Although there are times when you're sending someone an emoji and you think it's one thing, and it's
and people interpret it differently. I do it all the time. It's just like, why do you send me this? Like, this is just completely crazy. Like, what do you mean?
I really struggle with the like thumb, because I'm like, is that
it's passive aggressive,
I agree, or is that I've heard? Like, is it passive aggressive? And again, it's a generational
yeah, right.
thing.
It's absolutely passive aggressive. It's like, sure.
Oh no, because I use it all the time, meaning like
I use it sometimes too, but I use it with that meaning, like, sure, whatever you guys want. This is so funny.
But then, like with all the communication, you have to take into account the person you're communicating with, like the love languages. You've got to understand what they're saying, what they're speaking, and how they are trying to communicate with you. And you've got to learn their language and listen to it and hear it. So I think if anyone's going to pull me down for giving them a thumbs up, then they need to check themselves also.
Speaking of love language, there's a little love letter for both of us, but I think primarily for you, Charles. What is your love language? What is your love language according to from the book? Right, there's like gifts.
Yeah. It's so trite, but I actually love that. I would say physical touch, words of affirmation.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I appear to be
a little
lacking.
frozen.
Am I? Yeah, there we go.
You're back.
There you go. You can't
physical touch, and words of affirmation. I love that. I would say definitely physical touch, and probably like acts of
service.
Acts of service. It's not service. It's just like I'm more into actions than words, I think. I want to see people do.
Can be interpreted in different ways.
Well, it's not like do things for me, but like do things that make me feel like, oh wow, like you really care. Like this is really important. But
that's
definitely.
Act of service.
Yeah, that's an act of service. Okay, fine.
Like
you win.
Being a person of action, like just I think that's really important.
Like if you tell me things, that's one story. But if you actually do something that like blows my mind, I'll be like, whoa, okay, now.
It's a crazy segue, but it's also learning it's a two-way street, right? So you got to learn how people are trying to communicate. You got to recognize when someone is showing you love. So if you were, for instance, it's not my love language acts of service, but if you were, I would be like, oh, I can see that she cares, right? So it's an act of, and I think that is bringing this back to live streaming. This is a two-way street. This is so critical to understand that you're not a television broadcaster. We are engaging with our chat. Our love language is you commenting. Your love language is us hearing and responding. Like it's a call and return. It's a relationship. It's a community, and it's so important to understand that.
Yeah,
I feel passionately.
I agree. No, I mean it's awesome. I love that we had this like little. I'm just making mental notes on words of affirmation. More of that coming up to this stream. Everybody,
right? Can I get your cup of coffee?
Charles is so amazing. Well, in the meantime, you're gonna get your cup of coffee, and it's so cute. If we're using two cameras, is it possible to stream to Facebook at the same time using Restream on one and Facebook Live on another? Probably would be confusing, but just curious. So if you are streaming, if you're using dual camera, which is a feature in Restream Studio, you can have multiple angles. We actually demoed it not too long ago, so there are a few shorts about that too. If you just search for extra camera or two cameras in Restream, you cannot send one camera on one platform and other camera on another platform. That's not something that you can do with Restream Studio. It is probably for the reason of that being slightly confusing. If you want to show two different things, you probably would be better off like creating two different streams. However, what you can do if you want to switch between those two cameras is you can create two separate scenes and assign your cameras to specific scenes. So camera 1 can be scene 1 and camera 2 can be scene 2. And what you can do is you can show first camera during certain part of your segment. It could be certain part, certain chapter, and then by transitioning to a different scene, you simply transition to an extra camera. So just like a little bit easier for the workflow. But yeah, like one camera on Facebook, another camera on YouTube is not something that you can do right now. Let me know what's your use case.
Not in the studio. You could use the Restream plugin and OBS, and then you would set up a vertical and a horizontal, do they call them scenes in OBS? What do they call the two? Anyway, so you
but that would be
OBS through the Restream and then multi-stream through Restream.
You could do that with a plugin. Yeah, you could do that with a plugin. But remember that in that case, it's not only going to be different cameras, it's also going to be different orientations. So that vertical plugin that you will be sending the separate camera to is going to be portrait, versus the major OBS feed is going to be horizontal, right? Like, so you won't be able to send two identical feeds with two different cameras, as far as I know, because the plugin will actually it will just split it into two different orientations, and then yes, different cameras can work there. Or no, I'm not super familiar with OBS. Like, I don't think you can do that. But let us know what's your use case. Like,
you can choose your vertical feed to go one channel, and you can choose your horizontal feed to go to another channel. So if the vertical feed is using camera A and the horizontal feed is using camera B, so technically, yes, you can, and then the sound is always shared. So you can do it. You have to understand that also using OBS comes with their own pitfalls in that it is a little more complicated to set up, and it's sending separate streams. Therefore, it's going to hit your bandwidth quite hard. So
yes,
it's
going to work your computer hard.
There is a reason you and I are in the Restream Studio right now, and the reason that this product exists is because it's taking an awful lot of the pain points out that you may not necessarily be aware of. And one of those pain points is that a lot of this stuff is reacting dynamically in the background. There's a lot of tech and back end going on in order to make sure that stream is looking and sounding perfect. On all of the platforms that you stream to.
Yeah, let us know what you're trying to achieve, because maybe you're thinking about it as sending two different cameras, but maybe there's another way to do it. Describe it if you can. Try teasing something that is coming on the show too, so viewers aren't flying blind, and you hook them in, which is a nice great segue to the question of Sean, who's asking any sneak peeks into features over the horizon. And of course, we do.
You want to bring something up on screen?
Oh, absolutely. I am going to bring up something on the screen. So normally I do put it in the very end of the stream, because we like to talk about what's up next. So you know what is the expectation for the next stream, what's the topic. But since you guys asked about it, and this is so perfect, I am going to share it right now. Our sneak peek is for upcoming feature called Browser Source. A lot of you asked for a way to bring widgets and cameras and different tools, your donation platforms, your viewer counters, there's so many different ways to bring a widget onto your stream in Studio. And now we're making it super easy and seamless with a widgets tab. It is internally testing right now as we speak, which is super exciting. And of course, you can see some examples here. So let me actually maximize this little guy here. So you can see some of the widgets that we just kind of like slammed on this thing to just show you what's coming. You can see a weather widget, right? Like it tells you that in Portugal, at the moment when this was taken, it was 24 degrees Celsius. Perfect weather. It's about 72 degrees, I believe, in Fahrenheit if you are watching in the United States. There's a Polymarket little ticker under. So it's like live Polymarket, basically. Numbers. You can also have scores, like in the middle of, in there you can see, I believe it's Chelsea versus United. There's a live score that is going to be changing. And a couple more, of course, donations, subs, super chats, like anything else you get from a few services that allow you custom notifications and custom widgets. You can bring them all in. And I guess...
I hope you're watching this Danger Zone.
I hope you're watching this Danger Zone because I know you were looking forward to this. And this feature is testing right now. We are going to have a dedicated stream for it next Wednesday. So you will be able to talk to our head of product and maybe a few people on the technical team, ask specific questions, share your use cases. I am going to post on X that this feature is coming and ask you to share what widgets and what specific links like sources that you would love to bring to Studio so we can see more use cases and basically curate that content for the specific needs of folks who are going to use it. So yeah, browser sources up next. That's our sneak peek and our teaser. And I think, where was that thing that I built? So as I was testing it, I
know where it is.
Well, wait. let me build my ramp for it before we do it. Yeah. So basically, as I was testing browser source and widgets in Studio, I was kind of like not happy with the options that were out there. So the sports scores and the weather, weather. I love weather, of course, but it's not as exciting as I would want it to be.
I love weather.
So I love weather, yeah. But yeah, I wanted more. Let's put it this way. I wanted something more spicy and something more exciting. So I was like, what if I could show a live counter of the views of Restream channel shorts, right? Like we started this program approximately a year ago. So we've been posting a lot of shorts. Like what if we could show a live counter that in real time basically shows me how many people are watching our vertical content. And with the use of Claude Code, not being a developer or technical person at all, and with the use of Vercel, I was able to, in 15 minutes, to put up this little widget. And now go, Charles, because I don't know where it is. Oh, we need a separate scene. Like it has to be. It needs to be.
That's why I was waiting. Oh, look at the way that animated on.
Okay, let me remove the image. Yes. So maybe we should do it again. Let me go somewhere else real quick and come back here. So yeah, see, it's like counting, and it's different every time. And maybe in a few minutes we can change it. But yeah, this is what we're able to reach, and this is what I was able to build as a browser source. So it kind of like shows you like the live counter of your vertical views. I know that for any developer or any programmer, this is obviously a joke right here. But I'm very proud of this build. So take it for what it is, and definitely words of affirmation might be the right.
Anyone that doesn't necessarily understand what it is, what is it we're talking about here? Is that it's going to unlock a whole lot of different applications that you can use in your live stream. Applications meaning things that you can do rather than apps.
Yeah.
And it means that you can actually use pre-made graphics and websites and things like that, and bring them into your live stream in a more seamless way. But you can also tailor things. You can buy things.
So bad news.
You can create them yourself.
Apparently, we cannot see it on YouTube.
Oh no!
That's
you
fine.
and I saw it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do something else. We're gonna go back. I know, right? Well, it's probably because it's still testing, and we're literally giving you such a sneak peek and such a teaser that we see it in preview, but you don't see it yet on the channel. But let's go. I guess we have a screenshot. So yeah, go ahead, Becca, drop it in.
Nice.
let's have it
Well, that'll
on
take a little
our.
while to it'll take a little while to upload and to drop in, but
No, we
it's
can just drop it in on this very scene if whenever Becca is ready. Here we go. So this is how it looked for for us, and yeah, so it's basically just like a real counter, and it's actually spinning. So the effect there was that it was actually rolling the numbers.
So the key thing is that it's live, right? So this is a sort of a widget that's been built that will update live. It's live information, just like you see how the ticker is going along at the bottom. Imagine you have a ticker of live information from a financial institution, or you have the weather, as you say. Let's say it starts to rain. That little widget will update to let you know that it is raining. So you can have live scores, you can have all kinds of stuff. But we are getting ahead of ourselves, I think.
I see folks are saying we cannot see it on on the channels.
Okay.
It is because it's still in testing, and I guess it does show it to us on preview, but it does not yet go through the channels. But this is something that we will be launching next week, and then it will definitely appear on all channels, so don't you worry. But yeah, coming back to that scene real quick where we talk about
at least you know that this is live, right? I think that the mistakes and things that don't work quite right are charming. That's part of the live experience. And you can see that we are genuinely, building and doing stuff, and it's down to the wire. Like this is great. It's good TV, as they used to say in TV. I'm definitely going to ask our product team why things in preview don't show up on the stream. But again, it's in testing, so we were just playing with it and trying to explore. Great. So let's see. We do have a few more questions here. The question from Helen: do the comments come through from mobile Twitter yet? If you commented on mobile Twitter, then the answer is on the screen. Hopefully you can see it. If you didn't, and if you commented from your desktop, I would invite you to please try to comment from mobile. Just open X on your mobile if you have an app, and let's test it and find out. Because I believe that we do support those comments from anywhere. But yeah, let's test it right now because it's live. This is the point, right? Well, Helen's apparently on the radio. Don't know how she's going to comment there.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Let's do it. In the meantime, Star Fox is asking, you can split landscape and portrait on Restream Studio now? Or is this future state? No, this is very, very present. And this is actually one of the tips that we had for people who are trying to find better way to grow their audiences, is to definitely make sure that you own both vertical and horizontal feeds as you go live. We now support going live in dual formats in Studio. You can basically, it's the same stream. It goes live in horizontal for certain platforms that based on your selection. Most of the time what we do here is we go live in horizontal on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and YouTube. And then the vertical feed is going on YouTube as well. So YouTube is the only channel that gets both orientations into separate events. And then also there's a vertical on Instagram and on TikTok. So that's how we do it. But you can actually change and adjust those things. For example, if you really feel like sending the vertical feed on X, you can select X as a vertical platform. And of course, any other platform as well. Maybe on LinkedIn, you're feeling that vertical content will perform better because most of your audience is mobile. So all of that is possible, and it is possible directly in Studio. And as we showed you earlier, in Studio, the layouts are going to be adjustable automatically. So whatever orientation, whatever layout you build in your landscape mode is going to adjust to look just right on mobile. So that's an example when we have 3 people and they will get staggered.
We're talking here today about building an audience, and I think it's important to recognize why you might be doing this, and that is that different audiences show up on different platforms, and different audiences want a different orientation on those platforms. And so while this is a tool that can allow these things, it's up to you to then figure out and look at your analytics and work out where is it people are showing up, which is what we were sort of discussing earlier, that by going live vertically and horizontally, you can capture more than one market. It could be that certain type of person only wants a certain type of content, and they're showing up, as we were discussing on Facebook, in the vertical feed, but they weren't showing up in the horizontal feed. Well, then that's the choice you need to do. And just to reiterate, it's only YouTube that will allow you to stream 2 streams in both vertical and horizontal currently, but that may, depending on the platforms, we're ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, and I see that we did test, there's a test from mobile from Becca, and there is, I guess, a test from Helen. So well done. The comments, the live comments from X that are posted from mobile devices of your viewers are coming through just like magic. No problem. Great. Really good to see that. All right. And then, regarding the overlays, Danger Zone also says a live sub count overlay would be really cool because OBS has that. So basically any kind of overlays that you can use in OBS with that same browser source link, you can bring it in Studio as of next week. So stay tuned for that. It's awesome. Charles, you already shared how going live in 2 orientations is one of our recommendation for audience building, right? So if you're not doing that yet, you should definitely start because different feeds, different algorithm, different discoverability. And let's face it, the world is moving mobile. So if you are not creating content that is going to be comfortable to watch on mobile devices, you will be losing certain potential viewers, right? And most importantly, when you bring the content that is perfectly fitting your device, you are also affecting very important metric that helps algorithm to determine whether your content is great and should we push it more. And that is state to watch, right? Like, so in YouTube, in your analytics, if you look at that, at your analytics, there's like a specific section for it that tells you how long, what percentage of your viewers stayed to watch till the end or watched for what percentage of time of your piece of content, right? So obviously for 2-hour streams, we're probably going to have 0 people who stayed from the beginning to the very end, right? People are going to be coming and going and checking in for certain parts. For shorts, something like 30-second live clip that we're posting from as highlights of this show, of course, we hope that most people will watch it till the end, right? So that's a very important metric. And when you put your content on the device in such a way that it doesn't have ugly black bars or weird stuff, or it's just like cut and cropped in the middle, that opportunity to keep those people to watch and that time to watch increase is much more likely to happen. So that's another thing to consider when you think about dual format streaming. Not only it is discoverability, new feeds, new fans, it is also the comfort of watching on a specific device, which is going to help the algorithm to see that these people are watching longer, and that signals to platforms that content is worth continuing to promote. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Good stuff.
Another thing. I think people used to talk about gaming the algorithm. I think it's more a case of working with the algorithm.
Exactly.
Figuring out what works for you and for your content, because all of this stuff is very personal.
Yeah. And then here comes comment from Cheryl. This might explain why I have a decent amount of followers on Instagram, but I can't hold even 5 on a live. I'll be giving this a try. This is absolutely, So if your followers are watching on Instagram, they're watching on mobile most of the time, right? Like there's very, very, like the number of people who are going to open Instagram on their computer are going to be people like me who are just trying to open it in order to fetch the key and then to send the stream to it. Most people are going to experience it on mobile. And of course, if your stream or your content is fitting that device, it's going to be better experience for viewers. And that's super important for algorithm, and that's super important for your community growth and your audience building. So yeah, absolutely give it a try. I love it.
If your people are watching, if they're on Instagram, are they there for your photos? Are they there for your shorts? Are they there for your live stream? How can you use all of those 3 to help you influence and create more on all of the others? It could just be that, as I said, you're using your live stream as content, and it could be that you just need stills from your live stream of like, here's a great comment that came up. Try to mix it up and actually try new things. And one of the really important things is to show up, is to keep going. I said that before, but and also make sure you're enjoying what you're doing and iterate. Try new things. Try to find a voice that works for you in every platform that you're working on, and try and understand what it is that your audience wants from you.
Yeah, and the formats that work, definitely stick with them because, for example, with Restream, we did not give Instagram a lot of love for the longest time, right? Recently, as we were releasing this dual format streaming, we realized that we absolutely have to dog food and try it. So we started to send live streams on Instagram, and of course, all the reels and clips that we repurpose, we send that on Instagram too. So we don't have any pictures whatsoever, any posts on Instagram. Our content is only two types. It's reels, which are our shorts and clips, and lives. And that is still contributing into slightly over 500,000 impressions and views that we get on Instagram. That was absolutely abandoned for years. So imagine just two formats. And because we figured out that those two formats really work for us, we just keep doing it. And that is, and that's working. So try different things, but once you find something that's working, just keep pushing, keep producing that kind of stuff, because clearly that delights your audience, and just give them more.
I think it's also a question of timing, in terms of, often it's a time about finding your voice. So, I think some of the common advice that I was reading just yesterday was think in decades, not in years. I actually don't think in months, think in years.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little while to build up an audience. And just because you're not seeing results straight away doesn't mean that you're not actually sharpening your content and gaining an audience and getting noticed.
Yep, absolutely. Can I stream on TikTok with Restream? Yes, you can. We do have an API integration. If you're streaming gaming content, it's going to be super easy for you. If you're non-gaming content, you might have to reapply a few times. But if you have a good established TikTok channel with a lot of followers, you should not have problems. You might have to reapply a few times. But definitely give it a try. And with dual output, it's very easy for you to add TikTok in addition to YouTube and other vertical channels. So yeah, totally.
To be clear, that's a TikTok thing. Like we don't make decisions on that as to whether things are working.
The approval is completely on TikTok. Yeah, so you have to apply, and if they approve, then you will be able to stream to TikTok through third-party application like Restream. If they don't, that's on them. That's their decision. But I have seen examples when you would reapply a few times, and that actually goes through, because I think maybe some of those decisions I might kind of like programmatically and automated, but if you are persistent, sometimes it does get to the right place, and then we do have an official integration with them as of
right.
We are.
Oh, we lost Anya for a second there.
Maybe I'm back.
A bit flaky. So yes, you were saying we have an official integration. So while we don't make the decisions, we have streamlined the process for you, and then it's up to them and whatever their systems are in the back end that will actually pick up on that and confirm your or deny your ability to stream there. And then, of course, as Anna was saying, they do tend to favor gaming content. So if you have problems, try submitting again.
Yeah, absolutely. Is your background virtual or real? Question for me. It is very real. I'll hold my short in a second for you.
I can tell you. So what the reason you might think that is because of the incredible separation that Anya is getting between herself and the background. And that's down to the lighting, and that's down to the soft focus, the bokeh that Anya is getting from her camera. And you'll notice that my background is also very blurry, and I also have a light. You can just see the light coming down. I actually have it's like literally it's like right there. So mine obviously isn't quite as good as yours. We were just discussing how I'm going to change my background.
Yeah, you are going to change your background, and it's going to get better. But yeah, absolutely. I would say my preference is always real background, even if you don't necessarily have a lot of space to like design it. We did put a lot of effort and love into the studio. There is a YouTube video on our channel that talks about it and how we reimagined and like kind of rebuilt and rebranded it completely. But I would say even very simplistic, just kind of like solid background, solid color, nothing special behind you is always going to look better, in my opinion, than the virtual background, because virtual backgrounds do tend to bleed. Sometimes they look unnatural. It is a great solution if you temporarily have a very messy real place. But for long term, if you are building your brand, you definitely want to create something real.
And can I just say that even if you are doing a virtual background, you still need to get your lighting right. Like lighting is really one of the most
important things.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have several lights going on here. I have my main key light, and then I have this backlight, hair light. But then if I had a green screen, I'm going to need to make sure that there's plenty of light on that also. So getting your light right is key for both of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting tips from Cheryl. Like, I guess based on her experience on TikTok, you have to be very careful about the words that you use. If you dare to say other platforms like Facebook or website or Instagram, you might be shut down, and you will be in TikTok jail for a time. Interesting. We have not experienced that on our end because we, of course, go live on TikTok all the time, and we do tend to say a lot of words like Restream, Instagram, and other platforms. But it's an interesting thing to dig into. I actually want to make a screenshot and a note of that because I want to try to find some more information and test it. Just like actually literally test it on a few channels, including my personal, because there might be something to it. Platforms and algorithms, of course, every social platform's job is to keep the viewers or people who are using it on that platform for as long as possible, right? That's why it is a known fact that adding links that take the people out of that platform, either in posts or in comments, are going to harm your content because YouTube does not want you to leave YouTube and go to Restream, right? Facebook does not want you to leave Facebook and go to X to find those reels and those short clips that we were talking about. So it does make sense for those platforms to work very hard to keep the audience and the people in the same platform. But it is interesting. I would definitely dig into it and see if like TikTok really got to the level when it is listening and like figuring it out from the transcripts. I would not put that past them. It's very possible. Yeah,
I'm not weighing in on that particular subject. But what I would say is that case in point, Twitch changed their chat aggregation policies that you can now have your Twitch chat sort of wherever you want, and bring other chat from other platforms into your Twitch stream. So the platforms do listen. I think what they realize is that they do want to try and silo and to maintain a control over all of their audiences. But to be honest, I think it's clear that building an industry is good for a business, not just building a business. And so live streaming is a huge industry that's burgeoning. It represents billions and billions of dollars. And so you want to have a nice slice of that pie. Trying to own all of it's probably not going to happen. So they want to make sure that they're building an industry, not just building a business.
Yeah, there's some clarification here. Helen says it applies mostly to live pros on TikTok, so basically promotions. And Cheryl is also adding that this is primarily for people who are selling, so the sellers on TikTok. That makes a lot of sense because TikTok basically wants you to sell through TikTok Shop, and they don't want you to say, hey, I'm promoting it on TikTok, I'm using all my big TikTok community. But actually when it comes to buy, go to my Facebook marketplace. Like that's what they're trying to avoid, which makes perfect sense because they are not wanting to lose that commission for offering you to use their shop. That is absolutely perfectly clear. I agree with that for sure. And AI is definitely listening.
Yes. It really is. It really is in a very useful way and perhaps in an insidious way. I don't know. But I think the other thing I'd say is that a lot of the platforms didn't want you to be multi-streaming. And that's and that was in their terms of service. Wasn't actually enforced as much as people perhaps suspected it was enforced. And so while I'm not saying go out there and break the terms of service, I'm saying perhaps look at what's actually happening in the real world and react to that.
And what serves you, because the whole like multi-streaming is not ideal. Was definitely serving platforms, but it was not serving creators because creators would clearly be winning if they are reaching audiences on different platforms and different destinations. And now the world changed, and since Restream was created, we went from the place of like, how is it possible to multi-stream? Who needs that? The platform will never allow that, to the place where platforms welcome that. And they actually, even during our conversations with YouTube, they were like, we know that every single creator does that. Every single creator goes multi-platform, multi-format. And not only we encourage that because that is allowing our creators to grow. That helps them to find more sponsorships, more donations, be bigger. And then if they are bigger and happier, they are going to stream more. It's that simple. So
I actually was speaking with someone from YouTube, quite high up at YouTube recently, who just an incidental someone that I know from around the way. And he and I were discussing how YouTube has an entire department to match up content creators with advertisers. And I said, but that's surely against the fact that YouTube is trying to sell advertising within of their own, in their sort of, what the advertising that they literally insert into live streams and into content. And he was like, no, excuse me. He was like, no, happy creators successful creators make a successful YouTube. So it is in their interest for the creators to be happy. And that was like from the horse's mouth. I was like, that's really interesting. It's really good to hear that actually it's creator focused rather than purely bottom line. Because as we were saying, I use the word delight about a product. A delighted customer is a customer that comes back and keeps using your product. And that's what you need. That's what you want.
That's what YouTube wants, absolutely. Great question here from Look Up for Sky. Can we use Restream to record virtual podcasts without losing quality? Yes, you can.
I love this question.
I love this question. It's my favorite. So two things. One is you can use a record-only mode, so you don't have to go live to use Restream Studio. You can simply set it to recording, and then you can record in up to 4K quality. And that applies to you and your guests because they will all be recording locally on their devices. And if their cameras and their setups basically allow that to happen, you can record remote speakers for your podcast in the top quality, even if their internet connection is not perfect. The speakers and the podcasters can continue your conversation in that record-only mode and record in the best quality for both audio and video, up to 4K. And while your show is recording, we already in the backend upload that video to you. So by the time your podcast is over, maybe hang out for like 30, 40 seconds. But then once you hit that, we're done, stop recording button, in just 30, 40 seconds, you will receive all those feeds in top quality up to 4K. So absolutely perfect for podcasting. In addition to that, what you can also do is what we are doing right now. We are going live. We're streaming this podcast, I guess, this live Q&A, Ask Me Anything conversation in 1080p because that is the format that most platforms accept. So for YouTube, we could have gone higher, but most of the platforms that we're live on will simply not support that. So that's why we're in 1080p for live. But in the background, we are recording this conversation locally. And once we're done, Charles will be able to grab those 4K high quality recordings, both directly from my machine and from his. And then we'll be able to repurpose that into best of shorts, clips, and all kinds of things. So yes.
We do sort of treat it like a podcast in a way, in that we stream for like an hour and a half, and then we do a cut down. Grant and I make a cut down of just 10 minutes of just the highlights of the best parts of the most pertinent sort of information. Yeah. And in order to do that, it could be that you see the format that you and I just on screen right now. We've got a words at the bottom. It might be that we actually are changing subject and the caption is still on screen. I want to get rid of that. I can just dip into those local recordings, and the quality is, A1. Yeah. It's fantastic. Now it takes I don't recall ever having to wait for the local records.
It's very, very simple.
I sort of stopped thinking about it. I don't really need to. But of course, if someone dips out of your stream before their recordings have finished actually going up in the background, you can actually send them a link and they can just click on it and it will resume.
And they can like re-upload it later. That's very true, which is really cool.
Yeah,
you mostly never need it.
I can't speak on it really.
But it's possible. It's possible. And even if your guest like literally drops out from the surface of the earth and you never hear back from them, the partial recording is still going to be there. Yep. So whatever we were able to capture before they dropped out, you still can access that and repurpose that into hopefully a few clips.
And there are what we would call a cloud recording. So what you're seeing right now is being recorded in this format, and you can record it as separate cameras. So they're going to be ever so slightly lower quality in order for the live stream to be going out. So it's compressed slightly. And then the less compressed version are the local recording. So what's happening is it's being saved on your internal computer or even your phone, and then uploaded in the background at the same time that you're live streaming. And so a higher quality version is actually being, and in order to do that, it uses a little more bandwidth. So you do need a bit more cognizant on whether you have the bandwidth in your internet in order to do the local recordings, which you and I both do. It's surprisingly, it doesn't need to be quite as robust as you might think. But if you're only doing recordings, that takes down that need for
for live streaming. Yes. So to sum it up once again, you can record only without going live in high quality up to 4K on local devices for you and your remote guests, or you can go live with them and then retrieve local recorded on their devices in highest quality as well.
And
so two ways to do it.
If you're editing in DaVinci or Final Cut or Premiere Pro, it will come with an XML file that you literally download those files, you unzip it, you drag that XML into your editing software, and bang, everything comes up all synced
already
together,
aligned,
including screen shares. So if you've images, I don't think they need to, the assumption is that the images you will already have. But if you've shared a screen, a live source or a camera, that will actually be on a timeline, and it will be on one of the layers above. So you've got that there too in the high quality.
No, it's amazing. And
there are
a few guides on that as well. So if you go on our YouTube channel, there are a few videos there that walk you through this, and there are a few shorts that kind of like Charles made them funnier.
Or reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions. You can find me
about local recordings. Yeah,
if you can find my email address, which it shouldn't be difficult to figure out. If you can find my email address, and if I happen to open my email that day, who uses email these days?
Who uses email? Yeah, I have I had to share with our sales team that like if they ask me something by email, they will be waiting for many days before I figure out that question was asked.
Literally, I got to like Wednesday, and I was like, I haven't even opened my email yet.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Real quick, as we're wrapping up, I do want to share. So we shared three major things that you need to do to grow your audience, right? Number one was our portrait and landscape mode. So go live in 2 orientations at the same time to capture those vertical feeds and to continue delighting your landscape folks. That helps you to find new fans and also keep people to watch longer because it adjusts to their device. The second thing is clipping. Of course, we all know that shorts and short form and vertical content performs really well. It's bite size. It's also algorithm push them like crazy. And if you're using something like Restream Live Clipping, you can use live clips as top of the funnel. So you can create a live clip of the event or show that is still happening, post it on your social platforms, and land people back into your full stream. This is what we do right now for this event. This is what we did for, as you can see here in this example, for Raycast, when we took an in-person event for Raycast, and we're clipping them live so people could see what's going on and get like little highlights in the middle of the show while their event was still happening. It's really good for media, for sports, for announcements, product launches, something that's more or less timely. Those live clippings are really super helpful. But even if you don't do live clips, still clip and turn every single long video that you have into shorts, TikToks, and Reels, because that is the best way to find new people and to substantially grow your following. The browser source counter that did not work really well on this stream showed that we managed to surpass 6 million. Yeah, browser source, that widget that I built. It did show that we reached over 6 million views on our shorts, and we just started that program about a year ago, a little less than a year ago. So you can definitely find a lot of eyeballs and a lot of views if you are clipping and doing shorts. But last thing I want to talk about before we wrap up is another technique that helps to grow your audience, and that is pre-recorded streaming. So of course, you know that Restream offers upload and stream, so you can turn any video into a live stream. Any video that's edited and recorded earlier, you can schedule it to go live at a certain time on all social platforms that Restream supports. It will appear as live. It will have a live chat that you can engage with while you don't have to focus on your content or worry about anything. So if you are using YouTube, think about it as YouTube Premiere, but on steroids, because YouTube Premiere will only work on YouTube, but Restream's upload and stream works on every single channel you can think of. It can go live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on X, on your Instagram, so literally pre-recorded events or shows or demos or webinars or live sales or anything else, or podcasts, interviews, customer stories, anything you want to pre-record and then push as live is what Restream upload and stream can do. Let me see if we have a little link for that, because I think I did have. If we don't, maybe we can real quick make that make that caption of how to find that landing page of upload and stream on Restream. But before we do that, before we show that, I do want to show a little short that Charles made for us.
I'm starting to chuckle because I'm already amused. I'm already starting to laugh at
because you've seen it. People haven't seen it, but so let's bring it on. So this is a quick little explanation of the value add of pre-recorded streaming, and then we'll dive into algorithm in just a minute.
They say that if your business can't survive a week without you, you don't have a business, you have a job. And most creators are actually just employees of their own channel. If they stop, the views stop. They're on a treadmill. Now, Anya is going on vacation, but our channel isn't. We have all our past streams turned into standalone episodes, and we'll use Restream to upload and stream them, which is to schedule them as live broadcasts. The chat will be active, the views will be climbing, and Anya will be on a beach.
Okay, we got to get out of this.
That's so funny. It really amused me. I love that.
It is pretty crazy. And oh my God, I still can't believe
I can't believe you had that hat in the studio.
I did not have that.
Where did you find that pineapple?
I know, right? Like, where did you? No, this is like really like, yeah, this is great content. But I think it does bring back the use case really well, because basically if you cannot be live all the time and you cannot, occasionally you have to take a break, right? But consistency is super important to algorithms, and it's super, it's one of those things that really help YouTube to determine that you are for real, that you're very serious about the content. And any silent time on your YouTube channel, according to some of my recent research, is actually something that you that basically takes your karma points, if that makes sense. So you want to be online and live for as much as you can, but physically you cannot be live 24/7 because you're human and you need to sleep, eat, and sometimes you need a pineapple, pina colada, or whatever. So with all that in mind, scheduling your pre-recorded videos and looping them so they kind of appear as always on, so your YouTube channel continues to stay active as much as possible, is one of the probably greatest hacks that you can do, especially if you're doing professional content. It's not as easy to do for gaming content, because obviously gaming creators are a lot more interactive. And of course, the expectation there is that they're actually present there, and you have to a recording of a game might not necessarily be a good content. But a lot of content that is around professional stuff, interviews, even sports commentary, like that kind of stuff is really it's great opportunity. And imagine if you can be live without any extra effort by just scheduling best of some marathons, memorabilia, and things like that. If you can schedule them to be live every other day, imagine what that would do to your hours watched, your watch time, your reach, how many times your channels, especially not only YouTube, but all others, will appear with this really nice live banner that says like, oh, it's active, something's happening. So that is one of the greatest hacks that we definitely wanted to share with you.
I mean, pre-recorded content was working for 100 years before live streaming started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like movies and TV are pre-recorded content. And of course, that went out on linear broadcasting. It was pre-recorded and then it was streamed live. So this is the same thing, really, is that it's just pre-recorded. It's just a case of how are you going to create that content is another question. And the way that we're choosing to do it is by using content that we've already recorded live, and we're going to use those cut downs. And so we've already got that content. We've already made it. It's yet another reason to live stream and to record those and keep those live streams, because you can then reuse that, not just for your shorts, but for this purpose. And it doesn't have to be you're on vacation, actually. How about you go live twice a week? You go live and then you live stream that live and you just sit there in the chat. You could just sit there in the chat and chat with people. Like it's still bona fide live content.
Absolutely. And imagine what it can do to expanding your geography, right? Because we're going live based on what is possible for the US time zone, because that's where we are. And that's like the best we can do to capture a little bit of Europe, because it's still evening there, and as much of the US as we can, because we're kind of like building it around central time zone. We make sure that we are available during lunchtime so people can watch us at lunch. And it's very strategic timing, but still this timing is not strategic for a lot of people in Asia. It's also not that strategic for Europe, because for professional content, a lot of people prefer to watch it in the morning. So one of the things that we should probably test soon is to do the rerun of the exact live stream, of the full live stream, but at some crazy early morning hours to capture completely. Let's just do it. Maybe we'll do this one. Maybe we'll just schedule this for Friday morning. Because this was a good conversation about audience building, and that could give us a little bit extra data on like what it actually does. Of course, you have to do it more or less consistently, but it has been proven that always on channels are just very successful. They grow, they gain audience, they gain watch hours. We were talking about how watch hours are the key for monetization, right? Like to unlock monetization, you need to have a certain number of watch hours. So imagine how much faster you can get there if you curated marathons, best of episodes, maybe a collection of your tutorials, guides, and webinars, and simply schedule them live, because it might not get the same engagement in the beginning, especially if you're not actively monitoring and answering in live chat, but it still will get you those views, and people will still check in, and people will still tune into those conversations. So we highly recommend to check out restream.io/upload and stream. We do describe on that page how that works. It's a pretty simple tool, and it is amazing how many people are not doing that yet. But it's such a game changer for both vacations, for just capturing new time zones, for being able to stay always on. And there's another value add of this is that it is completely glitch free. So you probably saw that we had some moments when we were kind of like struggling. You know, sometimes your connection is not as reliable. Sometimes there are certain freezes, which is absolutely normal if you're live for multiple hours.
Variables and outages that you can't control.
Exactly. And yet, upload and stream pre-recorded videos that you can push live are always perfect, because what happens is they get uploaded to our cloud, they get uploaded to our servers, and once they are on our server, unless something epically terrible happens to all of the Restream infrastructure, which doesn't really happen much, that is basically a guaranteed glitch-free stream. And for events that are super important, for events that have to be flawless, upload and stream is a great solution. But most importantly, like all those Apple events that are pre-recorded and then appear as live, certain super important launches and announcements, that is definitely still a use case. But for most people here in chat, in this conversation, it is just a way to grow your audience and give the algorithm what it wants, which is your consistency, your always ownness, and your ability to show up for your audience whenever they're ready to watch.
And it's a really good way for you to, let's say you're not that confident being live. Maybe you feel like that would be too much for you to start out with. Record it and then just try and then broadcast it, upload and stream it, and then just sit there in the chat and interact with people. It could be that it helps you sharpen who you are and how you interact with people and how you are on, in your on-screen presence.
Yep.
And actually watching yourself back is incredibly useful. It's a technique that's been used for, again, as long as media has been around. People have been recording themselves and then watching back. So you could sitting there and watching your live stream, it's going to highlight very quickly where you can improve.
Yeah. So team, this was a great discussion. I mean, we did share most of the things that we wanted to share, and we saw so many amazing questions in the chat today. I cannot thank you guys enough for really engaging, for helping us to keep this conversation alive. Every time, I'll be very honest with you, every time we plan an Ask Me Anything when we don't have a lot of content that is prepared, because when we're going to launch the widgets and browser source next week, it's going to be like a full deck, right? Like we're going to build scenes, we're going to have a guide, we're going to have demonstrations, we're going to prepare like use cases, we're going to have examples. So it's kind of like a full easy to follow flow. When you have Ask Me Anything, you kind of don't know what to expect. We just show up and hope that you guys will come in and ask your questions, and hope that those questions will be good, and hope that you will enjoy continuing and following up on your questions. And you did exactly that today. So we had very, very active chat. So let us know in the comments if this was useful, if you want more Ask Me Anythings, and what kind of topic would you like to see? So if you're still in the chat, just suggest a few ideas, because we like to build this Ask Me Anything, but around something, right? So we don't necessarily, we kind of did go all over the map today, because some people have technical questions or feature-related questions, and we want to make sure we address them, because this shows are kind of like open office hours for you. But we like to build it around specific topics so we can kind of announce that and prepare for it, and kind of like keep the discussion within a theme. Let us know what themes would you like to hear about more. You can comment in the chat right now, or you can reach out to us later or comment under the stream. But we would like to know, so we talked about audience building. What else would be interesting for you? Should we bring back some of the gear shows that we did in the beginning of the year when we talked about microphones and cameras, setups, and all the toys? Those usually go really well maybe there's something else.
Short on the microphones that I like, actually.
Yeah.
Well, because of course opinions change as does technology. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we would love. So there are some questions about like protocols. Like there's been using Restream. What is WIP protocol and beta? WIP protocol is just one of the protocols, like RTMP. So if you it's just another protocol that allows you to take content. So there's WIP, there's SRT, there's RTMP, there's HLS. So Restream does support multiple different protocols. And in beta, it means that we just released it not too long ago, and it's still sort of kind of not been tested on millions of users per se. So if you are, if you need it and if you want to use it, and if you have any feedback, we're super open for it. So let us know how that works. So let us know what other topics for Ask Me Anything you would like to see here. And I see that
and what features, you can always feedback on what features you're looking to see by contacting us on the, shall I bring up that?
The ideas, absolutely. If you have feature requests and if there's something that you are lacking in Restream and you wish we could build, definitely go to...
I'm trying to find it. Here we go. We got a lot of captions. We need to clean this out.
We do. Ideas.restream.io is where you submit your feature requests and where you share what we should be building. Some people already have some good ideas there, so you can upvote them. This place is visited daily by our product team and weekly by our marketing team. We constantly look there for ideas of content, what we should explain better, what we should focus on, and the product team looks there actively to understand what to prioritize. So if the feature already exists as a request, upvoting it really matters because that gives our product team a signal that this is important for a lot of people. If the idea is not there, definitely submit it because we look there all the time, and that is informing what our roadmap is going to look like. Maybe not today, but at least in a few months or quarters. So definitely check this out.
And comment on videos for us, like, comment, especially on this live where you're actually commenting and talking to us live. It means that we really take note. And, as you saw earlier in the show, I took a screenshot of a comment I'm literally going to send to the studio team. Say, hey, this is a good idea about, which way the comments scroll. And so we really do react to this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think switched over to YouTube from Twitter. Great live, guys. Looking forward to hearing about OBS overlays. Interesting. I think that is the browser, the widgets that we talked about. Yeah. So that is going to be next Wednesday. Make sure to set this notification. And if you haven't followed us or subscribed to YouTube yet, do that. Now is the time. Cheryl says, this is definitely super useful and informative. As a seller, I would love to see more information on how to grow and build my lives to get more customers. That is awesome. Live sales, lead generation, how to build your life such that the viewers actually funnel into how to turn your viewers into buyers. That is a great topic. I'm definitely making a mental note on that.
Did you see the news that GameStop has made is trying to buy eBay? Did you see this?
Yeah, I did. That's actually.
I thought about bringing that up as a subject for the news and that interview with the GameStop CEO.
Yeah, that is.
I was like, that's hilarious.
But anyway, I do think that the future of shopping is live. Absolutely.
Well, goodness gracious, eBay really does need to have some live shopping on it. Like, they've got all of the people are right there. It makes they've got all the notifications. They've got people who are actively have their wallets in their hands. Like, it's a no-brainer.
No, it's amazing. I think we should definitely plan and build a show around how to sell, how to generate leads, because it could be physical goods, but it could be also services, right? So we can cover a few things, how you can use QR codes to send people to your website and to the place where they actually make a purchase or sign up or subscribe to your services. There's also plenty of ways of how to activate people. Of course, there are certain limitations, like people cannot necessarily, if you're using Restream, people cannot necessarily click a button on our face in order to purchase something. But there are other ways and techniques how to do this. We could also compare how live streaming on social media compares to those live selling apps. There are a few apps that basically you can actually build and your customers can make purchases directly in the application. But there's a trick there, right? Because there's a massive friction point of making me download those apps before I can make that purchase versus on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. I'm already there. You don't have to convince me to do anything.
Just so, on that subject, our QR codes, you can literally put a QR code up to a product on your own web page or whatever. Am I right in thinking you can actually use an affiliate link to an Amazon product and say, hey, this is the one that I buy. It's an affiliate link. Scan that QR code and I'll get a cup of coffee at it if you buy. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this is just basically our homepage, Start Streaming with Restream. Quick QR code that you can scan, and if you're watching on mobile, you can actually take a screenshot of it and then use. I know you see self-reported. I will remove it very quickly. I just want to make sure that our people who are watching on vertical feeds can see it. So what you can do there is you can take a screenshot, and then if you're using iPhone, you can just basically hover or like press on that QR code, and it will still turn it into link. So yeah, good stuff. All right, let's clear this, and with that, I absolutely thank you so much. I see some more comments here. Thank you, the whole team. It's always helpful. Also making the studio better each few months. Thank you for great customer service. This is so great to hear. I absolutely love hearing your feedback. And if there's anything else that ever doesn't work for you, reach out to our customer support. They are amazing, 24/7 humans. They really know their stuff because they are streaming specialists. They're experts. A lot of them are super, super technical. Much more technical than me, even though I've been with this company for almost 8 years. And I sometimes reach out to them for like specific technical questions. They're really great. Whenever we hear the acknowledgement of that, it's just music to our ears. And I love passing that feedback back into our support channel in our internal Slack. So this is definitely going there today.
I mean,
that is awesome.
We obviously can't share it, but you should see how people swarm around a subject and really help each other out in order to deliver that fantastic customer service. And I think you can feel that as someone who's been on the other end of that customer service. I could feel the care and the attention and the support. So that comes from a genuine internal sort of want to deliver something fabulous. And it's real humans. It's not a bot. These are real people.
Absolutely. Another great comment, I'm just going to acknowledge that before we wrap up. The QR code was super useful during the Edinburgh Fringe. People could even donate while in the audience. So
do you know the Fringe? Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a comedy festival. It's high profile. It's so a lot of comedians get their big break there. So if you win the Fringe, then
that is amazing.
There's a good chance you'll have your own sitcom, etc. But a lot of people will go up there as comedy troupes and so on. So it's a whole festival. It's fantastic. Anyone ever makes it to Edinburgh, go during the Fringe. It's so fun.
My God. I love Edinburgh. I think it's one of the most beautiful places.
Edinburgh for Hogmanay, which is New Year, and Edinburgh for Fringe are that's a fantastic time.
Yeah.
That's great. That's such a great use case
that's
during
such
the
a great
Fringe,
use case
that actually donate. Yeah.
So
but you're taking your show live at the Fringe.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
That's something. Yeah. Maybe you should reach out to us through DM on X if you can, because I would love to. If that's what you did, if you actually took it live using Restream, I would love to talk to you, because we are always looking for use cases and customer stories and case studies to feature. This is also one of my real jobs when I'm not hosting. So if you have a great case. That features something so fabulous and fantastic and really interesting to watch, and it's also a unique use case. Absolutely, let's chat. Maybe we can interview you real quick and wrap it.
Fabulous is it's so lovely to see people using things that you've built in a way that you didn't expect, and I love that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, awesome. Live stream. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we will look you up, and if we don't find a good way to reach you, please reach out to us, because we'd love to see how we can maybe talk about this event.
That is our case study. An event live.
Yeah,
right. We spoke about that. Was that last week?
Last week. Yeah, last week we had a whole thing, offline events brought to you online through Restream. Right. Yeah, definitely. So that's a previous show.
Fringe, like all shows, is a ticketed event. Take it live, and that room is not that. Those ticket sales aren't the inhibitor to the audience that you can reach. Fantastic. Yeah, so great.
Absolutely. All right, so this was a great show. We managed to do it for 2 hours. Can you believe this?
I can believe it.
This is probably one of the longer ones, but this is the format, right? Like the Ask Me Anything is driven by you, and as long as you keep asking questions, we will keep going. However, of course, we do need to rest our voices, maybe eat lunch, and we will see you next week. We will be talking about widgets in Studio and Browser Source. We'll also be taking all of your questions. It's going to be a little bit more technical and feature-specific stream, but we will be planning more Ask Me Anything, and we will definitely show you what the pre-recorded streaming can do by scheduling some of those streams at different time zones as early as this week, because I would love to test it. And quick thanks to, of course, all the studio team that makes this amazing product that we can talk about. Hi, everybody. You guys are the best. Big thank you for Becca. She was our behind-the-scenes producer today, and she was doing so much work. She was pinning the chats, testing the channels, making sure everything works, finding images, doing screenshots, everything on the fly. Becca, you're a superstar. Thank you for supporting us today. Grant in our YouTube was the best moderator ever. I saw he produced so many links to answer specific technical questions that we cannot diagnose or test during the stream, because we absolutely need to be, kind of talking about broad topic. We cannot diagnose your specific issue, but Grant was sending amazing support articles that can help you out. And of course, our support team is there for you if you need to learn more. Our clips were, I think, produced by Romario with the help of Glebe. So they were people who were checking and making sure that the live clips look great and posting them for you so you can see the highlights from the stream live while we are still streaming. My co-host was Charles, my favorite co-host. That's simple. You are awesome. So let's do high five if we figure out how. 1, 2, 3. Ding. Yeah, we did it. So, and as we fail to high five, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That is a little bit easier than what we were doing here, and it really helps us out because we're growing our channel as much as we can. Thank you, and see you next week.